Our university is in a crisis right now. And the crisis has several dimensions. Senior professors are ignored when it comes to real issues of policy, especially as policy affects curriculum. I'll give you a concrete example. The fact that you are all held to a 120 unit cap on your career here is not anything that the faculty of this university decided upon. An administrator in the university, TOWNHALL, came up with that idea, that number, put it forward, and it was ratified by the administration. So that means that my power, this department's power, any department's power to set its curriculum has been taken away by the administration. We wanted to make our department a BFA, so we have a few more credit units, but people would have a more in-depth experience in terms of production and the rest, and even study of critical studies of media, gone. It's a 120 unit cap. All of the faculty were ignored in terms of coming up with solutions for the budget crisis. Our instructional funds are diverted for hiring of administration, as Brian outlined. Years ago, the California legislature allocated additional money for the assistant, associate, and full professors to catch up their salaries with other professors at other universities around the country, so we'd be at parity. We never saw a nickel of that money. The money went somewhere else. And my guess is it went into the administration. Went into administration projects like buying Channel Islands or setting up the Fort Ord campus. We're cut out of planning the university's building schedule. Construction on campus, what kinds of buildings do we need, first, second, and all the rest of that. And faculty are now, faculty were replaced with full-time faculty hires at retirement. A whole cohort of faculty are at the age for retirement now. Full-time faculty, tenure-track faculty are not going to be the replacements for those faculty. They're going to be instructors. So faculty are in a state of depression. A friend of mine went to a memorial service for a colleague recently, and she said that all of the senior faculty were there that she regularly knew from her work at the university before she took a disability retirement. All of those senior faculty were depressed, and they were just counting the days to retirement. So here we have the brains, polished brains that came here, have spent 20, 25, 30 years accumulating knowledge and experience from being involved in the department committees and the college committees and the university committees, developing themselves as scholars and as teachers. All that investment is on the way out the door because we don't feel like we're respected. So, next. Okay, getting to some nuts and bolts. Brian talked about the 200% since 2000. We see the additional campus fees that came out to about $6 million and $4.5 million. Summer school, people would like to go to summer school to accelerate their passage through the university and get out more quickly. Even there's a roadblock there because summer school fees are higher than regular session fees. I spoke about the 120 unit cap. The result of this is, if you don't know what you're going to do here when you come in as a freshman, you don't get a chance to explore the diversity of the university curriculum. You don't get a chance to say, well, you know, I thought I'd be an engineer, but I think I'm really interested in film more. I thought I was going to be an educator, but I think I want to be a poet. I thought I was going to be a poet, but I really want to be a nurse. When you come in here, you better know what you're going to be when you leave, because that's all the time you're going to have, and you're going to be tracked right through it. That's one of the reasons why we now have departmental advisors, to keep people on track. There are no more double majors. because that's according to the administration, that's a distraction. Just really quickly, for years I've been noting this. Our campus administration uses outdated business theories that don't fit higher education. You can't run a university like a business. Because we don't produce widgets. We produce citizens. The citizens are a costly thing to produce. Citizens have to read, have to be able to write, have to be able to express themselves, have to be able to research issues, have to be able to stand up and vote. Instead, our administration pits colleges against each other for limited funds. You make us play a zero-sum game. Instead of going out and seeking donations, 9 development offices on campus, not one of them earns their salary in money raised. College deans work for the administration, not the departments. Deans started out as faculty who would take the job of being a college dean for a year or two, maybe with a slight bump in salary, and then at the end of that 2-year period, a faculty member from another department in that college would step in and take the job for a couple of years. It would just rotate. It's a job that nobody really wanted, but it had to be done. They've turned it into a professional career at close to $250,000 a throw. And they've taken over the curriculum process, and they don't have the credentials for it. They don't have the knowledge of it. Departments instead are understaffed when faculty leave, or in our case we've had a couple of deaths in our faculty. They're not replaced. We're winding up with classes being cut, and then students suffer because we can't get the courses to you in a timely fashion. So let's reduce all this. Again, I'll take less than the president makes for sure. I'll set my compensation at the level of the lowest paid dean in the university, about $160,000. I'll be happy with that. Let's eliminate those 3 provosts. We're told that CSULB should reduce its population to 1990 levels, 30,000 students. Well, let's reduce the administration to 1990 levels and save at least $10 million. All administrators at the end of their contract should be thoroughly evaluated to determine if their nature is essential, and if they are, they're rehired, and if not, they're released accordingly. With estimated savings of at least $10 million, including junior administrators, staff, and their benefits. That's probably conservative, probably close to $20 million. I talked about the 20 million cap. Why? Let's see, go down. There's no chance to change your major. We talked about that. We talked about that. So, I think it's time to think boldly about CSULB, sorry about the typo. What do we want to be? Can we just drop the top-down style of management that doesn't work? And can we involve the faculty in every aspect of the university life? Can't we figure out a way to create a community of learning for CSULB students? Can't this campus be alive with stimulating activities instead of being a ghost town that it is now? And I think it can be. Just quickly, I don't know why that went out. Did I time out?
While you do that, I'll give one number. When I went to UCLA, we paid a little less than $200 a quarter, 3 quarters a year, $600, right, a year. When I first came here, the tuition was not that much more. That's how true California had held to its master plan. It had not even gone up by the cost of living. It had not gone up by any inflationary rate you can imagine. We've made this school affordable, and particularly true for students in the arts who need their money to do their art, to do their films, to pour money into things beyond their classes. So and I know you guys, certainly when I first came here, 99% of my students worked full-time or had to work in some fashion to be able to afford to come here and to maintain where they live, to be able to do their projects and whatnot. I think it shifted a little during the recession. We've got more upper middle class people and we've have a little more parental money to use. But still, if you're borrowing money, it's not cost even, it's not cost effective. That can be changed. By the cutbacks Michael's talking about, we can get tuition back down to where you're barely gonna notice it, easily.
Okay, and here's how you do it. You raise the tuition to the market rate of a similar institution, and it's nationally, which is about $8,000. $8,000 times 30,000 students gives you $240 million. It costs about $210 million to run this campus. You already have a $30 million excess. So now, the state gives the university at least $150 million. Divide that into 30,000 students, you get $5,000. You have a $5,000 rebate immediately. So it now costs you $3,000 to go to school. It's probably the case that with more cost cutting at the administrative level, we're probably going to be able to reduce this even more, probably to 3,000 to 2,000 and maybe 1,500.